Hello guys, my name is Mina from Japan. Today, as usual, after I woke up, I took my dog for a walk and studied bookkeeping and English so that I can speak well in this video. So today is the 75th anniversary of the end of the Second World War, and when many Japanese people commemorate those who lost their lives because we usually have relatives or our ancestors who were killed in the war, and yeah, this is such a day. For Japanese people, the Second World War was the last one the country has experienced, because after that, Japan declared never to go to war again, and thanks to that, we enjoy peaceful and happy lives here in this country. Okay, so let me see my position. I'm a Japanese millennial, and for me personally, I don't know much about how badly it is to go to war, because I didn't experience it by myself. But luckily, I could hear some stories about some story from my grandmother, who is dead. Well, me personally, I feel that it is important for current people to hand down a story from generation to generation, because the number of people who experience the war are already dead or has decreased, and teaching people and teaching children about it is very useful and effective ways so that we won't decide to go to war again. So this is my opinion, and well, as I said, thanks to my grandmother, I learned some of the history, some of the story about it. Well, when she was in her late 20s, being a mother of two, one of them was my father, of course. She lost her husband. Well, I heard that he died of millenial infectious disease when he was dispatched to a tropic country. But we don't know what exactly happened on him, because at that time infrastructure was so poor that no one knows whether it is true or not, right? And so, by the way, he died at the age of 35. And after that, my grandmother, becoming a widower, had been loyal to my family, and she was strong enough not to make complaint about that. Well, at that time, being a child, I was not so interested in her experience, but after that, studying history and visiting some war museums, both in the US and in Japan, I'm more interested in what she exactly experienced, and I should have heard more about the story from her. One of the ways we can do is to visit museums or war-related remains or sites. Japan is the only country which suffered from atomic bombs. So because of that, in Hiroshima and Nagasaki prefectures, you can see some buildings who are skeleton, because of it was broken by one of the atomic bombs, and so school children usually visit those places during the school excursion, and I think it is very effective. Now, when I was a high school student, I was lucky enough to visit tower, Himeyuri Tower in Okinawa Prefecture, which was a hotspot during the Second World War. And the tower is a place where female students committed suicide by themselves, because they thought that they would be killed by American armies. Where I saw a lot of images and letters of deceased families, and I couldn't stop crying. Well, these places, visiting these places are very effective to teach children about what it is to go to war. But the problem is that there are some children who are indifferent to such a serious story, and they try to do mischief and keep laughing, and it's very rude. So and another thing, and for these children, visiting museums is not effective at all. And another way we can learn about the war is to read comic books such as Hadashi no Gen, where when I was an elementary school student, I was very shocked to see images of these comic books, because the author of the book was sufferer who experienced the Second World War, and some images showed that dying people. There are dying people who are covered with bandages and infested with maggots. I felt very gross, and because it was not related to my life at the time, but it was good. It was good enough to learn words. And another thing, which is also effective for children to learn about the war, is that one of the cartoon movies presented by Studio Ghibli. Ghibli is a Japanese answer to American Disney movie, and most of them translated into various languages, and I think you guys can watch those movies. And one of the movies is based on a story with two children, a brother and his younger sister. They lost their parents during the war, and they decided to live by themselves because they had no one to rely on. And eventually they started living under a cave, but they were so young that they couldn't afford eating. They couldn't afford to buy food, and at the end of the day, his younger sister died of malnutrition. So seeing that, I couldn't stop crying because it was such a sad story, and the movie was one of my worst favorite ones, because it was a very educational movie, but it never made me pleased and happy at all. But yes, I think it's very good for children to learn about the war. Okay, so I'm happy to share my opinions being a Japanese millennial on this day, but what I'm concerned is that I don't mean to try to have the U.S. apology to Japan, because it happened in the past, and I don't care about that. Instead of that, on this day, on this anniversary, I want to commemorate those people who lost their lives for our safety, happy future. And yes, I just want to appreciate those people regardless of nationality. Okay, thank you for watching this video, and stay safe. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.